friends, it's Renee Bradshaw. I'm here today to do a spirit guide reading for a client I've had last week. I want to say I had her for another reading, which was very fun reading for me. But we're going to go into the spirit guide reading today. I'm hoping I can get it uploaded today. My internet being kind of weird, and I think my computer's getting ready to die. I don't know what it's doing, honestly. It's I had to upload some updates, let those take place, and now it's acting rather weird. I think I need to I'm not gonna think about it during this reading because there's nothing I can do about it right now. It's trying to upload another video to YouTube right now. I'm hoping it'll finish by the time I'm done here. If not, we'll check that out then. So I'm doing this now, but it might be a few days before this is actually uploaded, is what I'm trying to say, but rambling on forever. Okay, so I just cleared my deck from the past reading. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward as I do my prayers and my shuffling. Okay, so my client today had a little bit of a awakening last year, kind of like that thing we go through, I think, at the beginning when we first really realize something else is out there. There is a connection, the world connects. So she went through that, and then I feel like she was asleep before, now she's so much more awake. I'm not going to get into all of her information, but that's just a little bit of what she had going on. I feel like that's something probably a lot of us go through. At least that's what I went through. It's been a lot of years feeling as though there was a connection, but I couldn't figure out how exactly to make it. So I'm hoping today we can get some answers for her, kind of get some information from her spirit guides and give her a little bit of direction of where to go. But that's kind of like what's going on with my client. She's got a really beautiful spirit. The first reading I got from her, I won't go into detail what that was either, but there was just something in... I've had a few clients like this where there's something immediately where you kind of feel like you're talking to someone who kind of is in, maybe you've met before, you know what I mean? Like not this lifetime, but maybe another one, or just there's things with you that line up that'll make things easier. And then when I did her other reading, things just flowed really easily. And I'm hoping things will flow again like that today. They're just, it's you wouldn't know I write for a so-called living because I can't ever think of the right word when I'm doing a reading. So this is actually really awesome. Right away we have that representation for her spirit guide, and we have the High Priestess. This is someone who is I feel like highly skilled. So again, with that feeling like I've known this my client before. I've known you before in a past life, maybe, or our paths have, crossed at some point. Seeing this card here, that's telling me, even if we didn't really have that meeting, I'm really feeling drawn to, in a past life you did have a strong spiritual connection, and that's probably why you have such a strong spiritual advisor this time in your spirit guide. Perhaps you may not be able to hear her now. Perhaps there's some blockage from stuff that happened in your youth or in a previous lifetime, but I really feel like she's someone who can help you, definitely help you along your path. Definitely female vibes. I feel a lot of like prophetic energy here. She's definitely like a creative soul. She's someone who just really wants to take your hand and guide you. But at the same time, when we have the High Priestess, I think she's only going to take your hand and guide you so far, because I feel like when we see this card as a representative, she's really, she wants to awaken that within you, is what I feel. That's why she's with you. That's why she's been with you. So I feel like she's definitely been with you in past lives. She's watched you grow. In this life, she wants you to wake again. You know, you did say you woke up. You felt like you've been asleep. You realize there's more, but you're kind of you're interested in astrology and spirituality. It's awesome you're interested in astrology. That's one that I've always been interested in, but have never been able to quite grasp, just because I'm not great with numbers and memorization. At least I say that's why. But I feel like if that's something you're drawn to, you should definitely take a step in that direction when it comes to starting your spiritual journey, and perhaps you already have. I am going to look up, since you are interested in astrology, I have my cheat sheet here, because I can never remember the astrology dates. So we've got the High Priestess. I don't think she actually stands for a... So I just pulled it up for nothing. But I do have like see what I'm saying? I have like a cheat sheet that talks like the dates and the Arcana cards and different things that they stand for. And so that's my astrology cheat sheet. That's about as far as I've really gotten in astrology. But I feel like her here for you, and let me see. Her here for you, I definitely feel like that means you had a strong connection in this spiritual path in a previous life. And that's just something you need to work on this life to get back on track. And I feel like she's here to help you, and we're going to go through and see what else she has to say. So the next card is how she's currently helping you. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. So with this card here, with her currently helping you, I feel like there's probably some cause of stress going on. There's some major decisions happening, and some of them might be outside of your hands and completely. And she's trying to draw you back and give you a little bit of peace. The way you can help yourself, I'm going to look at both of these here as she's helping you, is, so we have this kind witch who's literally giving back. When we have this card, the Six of Wands, it is about giving, but it's also about receiving. Whenever we see this card, being open to receiving. So I think what she's trying to bring you right now is peace. She's trying to bring you some knowledge a little bit at a time. She doesn't want to, she's keeping you grounded, trying to keep you grounded, trying to keep you calm through these other decisions that are going on. But as far as your spiritual growth and your spiritual path go, I feel like she's kind of growing your interest bit by bit. She's like putting little things in your path. She's helping you find little bits of information at a time. These things are slowly being collected, because I feel like if you had everything all at once, like even people that practice for many, many, many years in their spirituality, I feel like every year they're growing a little bit more and a little bit more. You know, you have new spiritual leaders, new ideas that are coming out, that are being discovered. And I feel like this is definitely her saying, she's not going to let you absorb or see or learn everything all at once, because it would overwhelm you too much. But she does want you to be open to receiving when she is providing those gifts to you. We'll see like how we can recognize when she's talking to you. But I feel like there are probably times when she is trying to give you signs, symbols, awakenings, moments of clarity. I feel those coming out a little by little, and I feel like somehow you're not receiving them. And it's not like a big mystery. A lot of times, like me, I feel like I have a pretty decent communication and opening with my spirit guide, but I still don't hear and understand everything they say. Please don't mind my nails. I haven't gotten around to them yet. It's not very nice to look at on camera, I know. But So I feel she just really wants you to be more open to receiving like the bits of knowledge that she's giving you. So feel there's something here. I'm feeling something with numbers, and of course that's pretty common, is those repeating numbers. Like, I'm sure you've heard of the 1111. So if you haven't, go ahead and look that up. But the repeating numbers and the angel numbers or the guide messages, I feel like there's something here with that. It's not coming from a specific image on the cards or anything. It's just a word that I got. It was just numbers. So just watch for those, and maybe we'll notice a pattern here today as we pull the cards, and we can get a little bit closer on that. But just watch for receiving from her. So how we can tell when your guide is talking to you, and I like this because it's kind of like the same garden and the same aesthetic. And something I'm really drawn to is the open book and the closed book here. And then, of course, the garden, being outside with nature. Sorry, sometimes my brain just, they kind of try to tell me stuff. Harvest, taking a while. So your guide is just telling me again, like, she's reopening, reconnecting your interest in things slowly, bit by bit. How I feel like your guide is talking to you and you're not, and I feel like the guide is saying you're not hearing her right now. I'm definitely just drawn to that closed book. Like, she's helping you with the book open. She's trying to talk to you and the book is closed. And when I picked this up, it was reversed. I'm just holding it like this so you can see the image better. But so I feel like that's what it is there's like knowledge that she's really trying to pass on to you. Let's go ahead and so there's knowledge she's really trying to pass on to you, bit by bit. Little awakenings coming inside of you, things happening inside of you, connections. You're feeling all of a sudden like you should go left when you normally go right, things like that. So so we have here, I'm drawn to this, I'm not drawn to, this card shot out, it's drawn to you. So this card is drawn to you, this One of Wands, when we're talking about her talking to you. I'm drawn to the overall feeling of one as the start of a journey and wands as a creative journey. So I feel like there's, I know we talked about creativity last week. I'm pretty sure it was last week. So I feel right here that she's just emphasizing on that. There's something she's awakening inside of you. There's something that's happening inside of you. Something that's telling you, and you mentioned this before, that there's more. There's more to life. There's more going on. Sorry, I tried to read your previous email right before just to keep fresh, what you wanted from the guides. But I feel like this is definitely talking about how you want more from life, and you're at the beginning. You're at this very, very beginning stage, the number 1. This card goes all the way to 10. This is a new journey, this creativity that's opening inside of you. So I think this could be that spiritual connection that we're talking about here. And I also feel like she's talking to your spiritual side through this creative awakening she's putting inside of you. And I know you haven't yet found what that creativity, what that meaning is, but the next card that was going to come up, the shadow card here, was just this painting card. So I don't know, I feel like we did touch on painting. I don't remember if it was your jam or not, but I feel like we did look at some painting tutorials and information, and then I see this running here, and I'm like, run to the painting, open yourself. But okay, I'll put those over there. You probably, I don't know if you want to run. I don't want to run. I don't like running. So this card is just really like that. She's talking to you. It's very internal right now, what's going on. It's very much inside of you. It's these little bits of awakening, and it is that number 1. So it's the start. start of a journey. And then, so I'm just reading your note here real quick. There were a couple of the cards that you were interested in, or a couple of messages you were interested in too from the 5-card reading, which is really easy to do when I'm doing the video readings to kind of go into that. So, but we're going to go into that at the end because I kind of shuffled with the intent in mind and with this other list in front of me for the guides to kind of sort out the cards and the messages. So working on during this lifetime, right now I see I have the Strength card and it's reversed. So I'm connected to really to this idea of it being reversed and these 2 wands here. So I feel like there's something that weighs you down. I'm really getting like a bad relationship. And when I say relationship, I never mean necessarily a romantic relationship. I always mean just a human connection. So I'm really pulling like a poor relationship that's been stemming back from some years, that's kind of created a block or a I'm feeling. So I'm getting that. I just want to kind of, because sometimes a hand picks up the pendulum, it's like just go with it. So is it like a bad friendship or bad family relationship from years back that kind of created some tension or disbelief in yourself, that kind of started with some, and I'm getting like a serious yes, but it's getting caused some serious doubt within yourself. That is, yep, and I'm getting a big circling yes. That has always kind of caused this you to question yourself. I don't want to say taking the easy way out, because I feel like you've worked hard for where you've gotten, but I feel like when we talk about like your creativity and the spiritual side, easy versus hard, it's not easy to be an artist, and it's not easy to connect to your spirituality because there are so many people out there that are naysayers and negative and derogatory, and will kind of mock us to our faces for having these feelings or these gifts. And I feel strongly like there was someone in your past, and if it wasn't so much creativity or spirituality, but they just laid some kind of crack in your mind when it came to your self-esteem, when it came to your strength. And I do feel that your strength inside of you is it's massive. It's strong. It's strong. Of course, it's strong. It's strength. But I mean, it's like this giant lion here. It's just ready to come out, just ready to roar. And that's something that's right now, that's your lesson in life, is how to grasp things that you want, not what other people expect you to do, not what you're afraid of, afraid of, making a fool out of yourself or anything like that. But it's just to grab your life and take your life and live your life how you want, is what I get from here. I feel like maybe in the last lifetime that you did put yourself on the back burner. Maybe you were a caregiver to someone with physical problems, is what I'm almost getting. And so you had to put yourself on the back burner a lot, and so you were born into this life maybe starting to do that a little more. And maybe you don't always put yourself on the back burner, but with your creative mind and your spiritual mind, you kind of do, or kind of have up until these points where you've started to grow an interest in them. It's kind of been not something you've done on purpose, but like a subconscious, like a block. So what are your gifts? So again, I'm seeing the block here. I'm not seeing this as a negative card because it's reversed, just a blocked energy right now. So I really feel like you have some kind of gift in meditation, when it comes to awakening this spiritual side of yourself. And I'm getting that this is the third major arcana card that we have, and I always like to watch for those when we're doing these spirit guide readings or past life readings, because it really means that we've tapped into like a major life lesson or a major past life. But I'm feeling this major life lesson here. I feel like you have so many things inside your mind, like you'll have an idea and it'll be right here, and you go to reach out for it, and it's like you're focused on it so much that it kind of just disappears. I feel like you have to let more things flow through your mind, and I feel that meditation, and I'm feeling chakra work right now, and I don't know why, because I'm not seeing any chakra imagery coming up, but the right here, I'm just feeling chakra work. So I'm feeling like that really will open you and into the spiritual life that you're seeking. I'm also feeling like you're gonna be, when you're done, you're gonna be one of those people who manifests fairly easy, who will have a good handle on the law of attraction, and your mind will flow with that really easily. That's what I'm really getting here with this whole vibe of connecting with your spiritual path and your spiritual spirit guide, your spirit guide, and your gift here. I just really feel like that's deep inside of you. I'm just getting that, and that your magic is within you. I don't feel like you're one that's going to need like a lot of gadgets and gizmos. I mean, they're fun to have, and I definitely work through the tarot cards or receive messages through them. I do receive messages without, not as much. I feel like you're going to really excel at receiving messages without. However, having tangible items you can kind of hold and roll around and think about will definitely help you in the beginning as you start the spiritual journey, but I think that eventually you probably won't need anything. What is your connection with the spirit guide when you are with them in the spirit realm? That's really lovely. So you have the five of cards. I don't know what that is, but that's the Four of Swords. So this card's all about rest and relaxation. So I kind of feel like maybe here on this earthly plane, you're having to run a lot or think a lot, go at times, and it kind of wears you out. And not even always like that you have a lot of errands you got to go run and do in your car and drive down the street and drop off this bill and that bill, but in your mind, I feel like there's just so much happening in your mind, and it's not quite coming out, and a lot of it like blocks or confuses or saddens you. I'm drawn back to this in your mind that I was feeling here, and the inner strength here. So a lot of these things I feel like weigh you down on this plane. I feel like you said, you enjoy your own company, very much so. And I feel like maybe when you're in that own company, your mind tends to focus on a lot of things all at once, and you don't have much of an outlet for here. So I feel like when you're in the spiritual realm, that's kind of, you let it all go, you let it loose, and then you let your mind rest. Because the Swords cards are all about the mind, and then we've got them all by her head. So, that's definitely a vibe there. It's just like letting your mind rest, letting things happen, and letting your spirit guide kind of talk you through why some things happen the way they do, why some things don't happen, how you can try to make sense of things, and how you can try to start dropping your subconscious blocks that you might have around yourself that have prevented you from going further in your spiritual journey than just the initial interest. So I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing like I see a shadow figure when I close my eyes. And I'm feeling like they have long hair. I'd say it's almost, no, not quite that dark, I guess, as this witch's hair, but it is pretty long. I see it curlier though, and she has a little bit darker skin. It's a olive toned, natural olive toned, and a huge smile, and she just told me go on, so that's what I'm getting there. Sometimes I see the stuff, sometimes it just comes through the cards, so I don't really know what's going to happen until I get into this stuff. So what do you need to be aware of right now? Oh man, so I'm sorry. Oh man, I hate when I do that. I get all excited and I sound really kind of creepy. But this reversed Hermit card, again, I'm seeing another major arcana card, another major life here for you, a major life lesson. You've been spending a lot of time on your own, a lot of time in your own company. I'm feeling like you've told me, we're seeing this card here. We were talking about things sticking in your mind because you don't have a way out of it here. I'm really feeling here it's time to get out of your comfort zone and to, I'm not necessarily telling you to go like join a giant yoga class or something, but it might be kind of cool, and it might be kind of helpful to get to this meditation point. And I see some of that meditation there again. And upside down, we've got blocked energy. So I really just feel like your guide is telling you it's time to step out of that being alone all the time. Now, for me, I like my own company best. I have a couple of very good friends, and I am content at that. I don't want to go to large group gatherings. And if you are anything like me, or even less like me, and don't even want the close friends, I don't feel like that's something you have to force upon yourself. This getting out of your comfort zone, I'm really feeling just, it's time to connect. It's time to connect to your guides, maybe to your higher self. And and this is a little bit stay, we're doing this whole opening to your guides, getting stuff open and stuff flowing for you. But I'm really feeling like your guide, especially right there, showing us that card right after the Four of Swords, it's time for you to not hold everything in on this planet. It's time for you to start releasing energies and negative energies, and accepting in the positive energies. So if it's something you're not interested in, you're not interested in getting together with other people, finding friends, getting together with other people, I'm feeling like this really strong draw to, you can totally find that connection, that release. If you're happiest on your own, you can totally find that by just doing more meditation, or even starting meditating if you're not meditating. Excuse me. Whoa. So doing the meditation stuff, and then also guided meditations are really great. And just visualizations trying to connect, visualizing and connecting with this lady here, your spirit guide. So I was pulling a goddess guidance card on this, on everything here, on this, the last two things we went over. And Arakura, I believe is how you say this goddess's name. Blossoming. So we're going to read her kind of like what she has to say, because I don't have all of that. Like, the oracle cards are a little different to memorize than like the tarot cards or understand meanings sometimes, especially when I'm getting like a message and something telling me pick up that deck. And gotta take a deep breath myself. So you're just getting started, so whoops. You are just getting started, so have the patience with yourself, the process, and do not give up. In many ways, you are like a flower bud who is ripe and ready to open and grow. Don't try to rush this process. Like we saw down here, she's giving you little bits at a time. And I like too that it's like tying back into that whole gardening theme. Don't try to rush this process, as it's part of your beautiful path. Enjoy learning knowledge and skills. Take your time to gather new ideas. Nurture your body with plenty of fresh air, sunshine, water, and healthy food. Soon enough, you'll get the unmistakable signal that it's time to put your learning into action. Spend time among the flowers or work with flower essences and oils to support your growth process. So that's kind of cool. There's information out there you can find that talks about oh, that's cool. I'll read you that. That talks about, different kinds of oils and essential oils and candle flames maybe that you can use during meditations. I don't remember where you live exactly, but if you're like me, like where it's in the teens right now and super windy, it's not really the time that you want to be hanging out outside all day every day. So, bring some of nature in, get an indoor house plant, some of those essential oils, things like that. But I really feel like that's all connecting back here to that slow down, that accept, learn the little things as she shares them with you. Now, in the back it says how to pronounce it. Now this is about her, and I glanced at this. I don't always read it, but I thought this was kind of cool. Arakura is a Celtic and Germanic goddess who multitasks as an earth mother deity, a fairy queen, in which our first reading together was a fairy reading, so I thought that was cool, and also a bridge between earthly life and the hereafter. She helps us put our goals and challenges into perspective so we don't needlessly stress ourselves. Call upon her for emergency money, or help manifesting supply. She's especially fond of assisting artists in adventures. Is it that upcoming creative side of yours, that artistic side that's in there? Use aromatherapy or flower essences. So I think that's really awesome, because not only, is it talking about that bridge, and I've been picking up some past life energy here today, and then, your past life is like a really strong spiritual person, and then it's also connecting back here, and back to that fairy connection we did, or the fairy reading we did, and your creative side that I know was just waiting to get out of you. So that was, what was that? I got really excited, and I kept going and going and going. That happens when I'm not totally in control of the session, because your guide is here, and that's totally awesome. That's what I hope happens. So any advice for your spiritual path? And then we're going to go into those two other questions that you had. So any advice for your spiritual path? Oh, the King of Swords, man. This guy is a guy who knows where he's going. He's just like, bam. So I am drawn again to this. Am I yelling? I hope I'm not yelling. So I'm drawn again to this, how she's talking to you, and or how she's helping you, how she talks to you. Advice for your spiritual path. And he's pointing at that book that I was like noticing from these, her closed book on the table, her book in her hands, and pointing at this book. So I'm really drawn to him being like, bam, accept the little pieces of growth as they come. When you are interested in something, start learning about it. That is her telling you that there's something there. There's something worth looking into for you. There's a reason why you're drawn to like a spell or a meditation or a deity, or something to do with astronomy, which I don't know much about yet. But there are all these things, I feel like, that if it is awakening inside of you, and it is something that is interesting you, start working towards it. But remember to go in baby steps, and don't expect yourself to learn everything all at once. Just because you were like this superhero, like badass spiritual lady in the past life, doesn't mean you're going to automatically be it. But I feel like If you kind of just follow her guidance here today, and like just accept the gifts as they come, accept the knowledge as it comes, and learning different things and the intuition, I really feel like you're just gonna have, let me see, is she going to have like this all of a sudden just giant spiritual awakening? And I'm getting a big old yes. So I feel like this is the path to take, and I feel like you're going to be working down this path, doing step by step, kind of allowing things to happen, working on your patience, watching things grow, and then bam, it's just going to be like, oh, this is sorry, breathe, deep breath. Sometimes I have to breathe and guide and ground myself again during, especially the spirit guide readings, because they get really talkative, and it overwhelms me because I don't talk a whole bunch on a whole. Okay, so the other two questions you had were from the 5-card reading, and you wanted to know a message that your guide wants you to know, which I feel like we learned somewhat today, but I'm going to see what else we get here. And then also, I'm curious about this one, something that your guide has told you, tried to tell you before in the past, but you've ignored. Now, when you ignore something, it's not straight up, like when someone is a human corporeal being standing in the room with you, telling you, you know, how much sugar to put into the cookies, and you are straight up saying, whatever, I'll put whatever much sugar I want in the cookies myself. It is a sign that comes that you're either not ready for, or you don't, or in this case you don't want to hear, or perhaps sometimes you get the sign while you're driving and then you get distracted and you will come back to it and you don't come back to it. So things like that happen. I mean, we're only human. Show me someone perfect. I'd love to meet them. Show me someone who accepts and understands and acknowledges like everything their guide says the first time they say it. And so I feel like, you know, that's the ignoring. Anyways, the message your guide wants you to know. Another major arcana card, which is flippin' awesome. I am really excited for you because I feel like things are just in the works. Let's see the imagery here. So we've got Temperance, and straight away she's got that book on the shelf. There's like maybe 12 cards in this entire deck that have a book in it, and you got 4 books this thing. So I really feel like that is a place for you, and it's I feel like, so I'm just drawing like the paper. Not only were we getting like the whole learning thing, but also like the creativity side. So like the drawing, the paper, the painting kind of deal. But the message to you is just to keep flowing through your life with balance. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Essentially, just kind of, you need to pick things that are feeling right to you. Is what I feel like, excuse me, sneeze. Oh, excuse me, I sneezed. So, the Temperance card here is all about that balance. So I feel like it probably, if we're saying, you know, you've had some extreme high and lows for spirituality or overall life lessons up to this point, but going forward, just kind of move forward with that idea of balance in your mind. I know a lot of people are very into like finding a tradition, a specific tradition, and working with it. You know, from start to finish, on whatever spiritual path you go through. But I feel like this card is telling you it's okay to pick and choose. Like, you can have a cupcake and a carrot. You don't have to have just vegetables or just cupcakes. So if you're feeling drawn to like A, B, and Q from this tradition or religion, and then T, M, and R from this religion, and, you know, take those together. There's no one stopping you but you to find a spiritual path. If you are feeling connection, if you're feeling growth, if you're feeling interest in something, that means it's meant for you. When it comes to spirituality, if you're drawn to, say, past life regression, you're really interested in it, that means that's something that's for you. Either buy a book, learn about it, watch videos on it, or just meditate into it. If you're already in a tradition that doesn't believe in past lives for whatever reason that it may be, but that still feels true to you, there's no one stopping you but you from having different parts of different traditions, different beliefs. This card is just about finding that balance, finding what feels true to you. Don't worry about following in someone else's footsteps. This is your path, your life. You're only going to get this life and this body to learn this lesson one time. And if you don't learn this lesson this time, it's going to kind of haunt you in the next lives. And so that that guide, your guide is just telling you, just take your time. Don't try to learn everything today, but I'm feeling that yoga, that meditation, again, just those positions of yoga, meditation, and finding the balance, finding what's true for you, finding your peace. And then something your guide has tried to tell you before, but you have ignored. Oh my goodness. Another major arcana card. You are having quite the life, aren't you? So, the Tower signifies just this major event, major change in your life. Now, traditionally, a lot of people see this card because of the movies and they think this is the end of the world. But really, this could be getting fired from one job and taking another. This could be a loan for this car falling through, but a loan over here at this bank going through for this car. So it's something falling down and picking back up. So I feel like what she's been trying to tell you in the past, I feel like you've gone through some stuff. I feel like you've gone through, everyone's gone through stuff, but I feel like you've gone through at least one, I'm feeling more like two, at least two major kind of crappy things that don't happen to everyone. It's not, bigger things. I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to describe for what those might have been because it's not my business and it's not the place for this in this reading, but I just feel like this signifies these giant things that you went through. And I feel like they, if you look at, that's why I love this deck, smirky face, you can pick yourself back up and she will help you. She will come here with you. She will stand by your side and she will help you get through all the crappy murkiness and the BS that follows this major upheaval or change. I'm definitely drawn to that whole thing. Is just she's been there for you each time that something awful has happened, but you didn't know she was there. So this is again the ignoring in this situation. It's not a choice to ignore. It is a I'm gonna use this word, but it doesn't mean without the bad connotation. It's an ignorance. We all have our own ignorances. You were only ignorant in this case because you didn't know she was there at the times these things happened to you. You didn't know you had a spirit guide essentially on your shoulder, behind your back, holding your hand. You didn't know she was there for you. And that's the only reason why you missed her. It's the only reason why you missed the message, is she was there to help you get out through, I'm feeling like she's really drawing to meditation again, help you get out through meditation and self-work. She was there for you to find that strength within yourself, but you didn't realize she was there and you felt alone. This was your path. You had to go it alone. There was no one else in the world. This was your reality of being alone, and you didn't understand. You didn't know no one ever told you. You never felt her yet before. You hadn't started to awaken yet, so you didn't know she was there. But the good thing is now in the future, because I mean, we all have these at some point in our lives. We're never going to not have tower card situations coming up. I mean, a giant move out of nowhere, you know, the loss of a pet, of a friend, of anyone, you know, all these things are real life events and changes that affect all of us, and we're always going to have them. So you're going to have these again in the future. You're going to have life-changing events in the future, but now you're going to know that she's there by your side to help you through it. But I really feel overall that she was just really stressing. I'm getting all these like yoga, meditation type messages. Even here with the relaxation and the harvest in the garden, I feel like those two can kind of fall into that whole meditation vibe. But yeah, that was a really good reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guide, for coming here and speaking with us today. That was pretty amazing. So I hope you enjoyed your Spirit Guide reading. I'd love to hear if it resonated with you. And if you are watching this reading and you want to get a Spirit Guide reading of your own, my shop is on Etsy, Witchy Renee Bradshaw, all one word. And I hope you guys all have a very blessed day.